put our hands together for our next speaker, Yazmin.
Why do so many people come to America? Simple. A chance at a better future and the desire to accomplish the American dream. Many adults make the decision to be in the U.S. illegally, and whether we approve of it or not is for a later discussion. Today, I want to focus on a bill that has been proposed to aid their children, those who had no choice but to follow their parents wherever they went. The DREAM Act, a bill to get those children out of the shadows and integrated into American society. A reporter for Roxy News, Griselda Nevares, declared in 2012 the general population support for the DREAM Act was 74%, as you can see in this pie chart. Today, I'm going to talk about how through the DREAM Act bill, many undocumented students will be able to legalize their status by first talking about the content of the DREAM Act, second, going into who qualifies, and third, looking at some social and economic impacts. You're probably wondering what the DREAM Act is by now, so let's take a look. Let's pretend little Susie here wants to know more about the DREAM Act. In 2013, the webpage DREAM Act of 2009 stated that DREAM Act stands for Development, Relief, and Education for Alien Migrants. It also states it was first introduced in 2001, with its latest introduction being 2011. In 2011, the National Immigration Law Center stated that immigrants who came to the U.S. as children and have grown up in the U.S. and comply with certain years of post-secondary education or military experience will be able to legalize their status. They also say that states would be able to provide in-state tuition to these individuals without penalty. The students would then be eligible for state aid, loans, and federal work study. But sadly, they'd still be ineligible for federal financial aid and Pell Grants. Sorry, Susie. In order for eligible students to obtain the DREAM Act benefits, they have to follow the exact guidelines as written in the bill. The Library of Congress, in their 2011 document S.952, DREAM Act of 2011, laid out the first step, which is conditional resident status. This would last for 6 years, and under this status, students would be able to work, drive, go to school, and participate in normal day-to-day activities, except that they would not be able to travel abroad for lengthy periods of time. They also say that if during the conditional period, the immigrant maintained good moral character and complied with either 2 years of college education or 2 years of military experience, the immigrant would then be able to obtain permanent residency. The U.S. Government Printing Office say in their document S.952 in 2011 that after 5 years of permanent residency, the immigrants would then be able to apply for U.S. citizenship. Now that you know what the DREAM Act is, let us take a look at who are those who qualify, aka the Dreamers. The previously cited Immigration Law Center states that a Dreamer is someone who came to the U.S. before they were 16, must not be older than 35, have graduated from a U.S. high school or received a GED, and have been in the U.S. for at least 5 years prior to the bill's enactment. Yay, Susie, you qualify. But besides meeting those criteria, they cannot be considered a security risk or have committed crimes. In September 2012, Raul Cara and Juan Guzman from the Center for American Progress declared in their article, The Economic Benefit of Passing the DREAM Act, that Dreamers, that 2.1 million students would be eligible for the DREAM Act benefits. As for any possible legislation, there has been much research done into social and economic impacts the DREAM Act would create. So let's take a look. In estimating the impact of the DREAM Act in 2010, written by the director for the Center of Immigration Studies, Stephen Camarada, it was found that 1.03 million students would now be able to enroll in a post-secondary education facility. Continuing with the National Immigration Law Center's article, they say that Dreamers and taxpayers would both see a huge life-changing impact. Dreamers would have higher wages, so they would earn more money, so they would pay more taxes. So taxpayers would see a reduction in the cost of social services and criminal justice services. The former director of Hispanic media for the U.S. government, Luis Miranda, declared in 2010 in the White House blog entry called "Get the Facts on the DREAM Act" that the Congressional Budget Office estimated that the DREAM Act would cut the deficit by $1.4 billion in the next 10 years. Returning to the Writers for American Progress, they said that by 2030, the DREAM Act will have added $329 billion to the U.S. economy, and it will have created 1.4 million new jobs. I know I gave you a lot of information, so let me quickly recap. First, I stated the DREAM Act is a federal bill proposed in order to legalize youth so they could obtain legal status and be in the U.S. through permission. Next, I stated that in order to qualify for the benefits and be a Dreamer, you must be an immigrant who was brought to the U.S. before the age of 16, must not be above 35, must have resided in the U.S. for at least 5 years prior to the bill's enactment, and must comply with 2 years of military service or post-secondary education. While Congress continues to fight over the DREAM Act and similar bills, states like California are taking matters into their own hands. Blue states provide in-state tuition for undocumented immigrants, and brown states do not. This is a map I put together based on information I gathered from the Huffington Post, the Washington Post, and the Associated Press. America's open and supportive attitude towards the DREAM Act has increased over the years, which demonstrates the wider tolerance and support of its people. The U.S. continues to prove that the American dream is possible, regardless of age, gender, or nationality. The U.S. continues to be the only country where if we work hard, we can truly get ahead. Forevermore, America will be a symbol of freedom, solidarity, and justice, the home for the brave and the strong. So, don't worry, Susie. As long as you're here, you'll be okay. Thank you.